Often when talking about government and the purposes of government, people tend to focus almost exclusively on high-level federal government. But the truth is that your local government has a much larger impact on your actual daily life. With that larger impact then, it becomes even more important to ensure that local governments offer the same protection as the federal government promises, and that, like the federal government, our local governments have at their core and as their key focus the protection of the rights of the people. Indeed, this is the core purpose and function that all government serves, and if the government were to only achieve one thing, that thing must be the protection of your rights. The protection of your rights is the entire basis of law, and what makes a law just or unjust is the answer to whether it is protecting individual citizens' rights or infringing upon them. Being the very basis of law and what makes laws just or unjust then, it is therefore essential that this focus be what guides all portions of government and how it interacts with the citizens it is organized to serve. Of course, people in towns and cities need things, and it's only reasonable for the people to ask their governments to organize efforts to provide and maintain roads, utilities, and other services that all members of the community desire and use. It's usually in this function that local governments lose their way and lose sight of the individual rights of the people as they look at these communally used services as representative of the needs of a collective rather than the needs of a community of individuals. This mindset and viewpoint of the people in a community as a collective body rather than a collection of individuals is dangerous and destructive, however, because it allows for the local government to change its focus from the protection of individual rights to the furtherance of the government's desires and goals in the name of the collective. And this mindset leads to the abuse of individuals and the rights of individuals who do not fit in with the goals and desires of the government's conceptualized collective. Here in Osawatomie, much is made of the heritage left by abolitionist John Brown, and the city proudly celebrates his birthday, displays his image on a mural, and dedicates space and time to him in town festivals, museums, etc. Does Osawatomie actually honor this heritage, though, or just enjoy a favored lame claim to fame? John Brown stood against slavery, right? It would seem to me that this would translate to standing strongly in favor of civil rights. Still with me? Well, what is the point of civil rights if not the protection of the disenfranchised and downtrodden individuals who are forgotten, ignored, and overlooked by a government seeking to represent the goals and aims of a faceless collective of their own creation? Is this really the way to honor the heritage of John Brown? Or is he just somebody who shows up in history books and he's the only thing to give Osawatomie any relevance? Well, whatever the true legacy of John Brown is, that historians will surely continue to argue, I believe in and stand for the rights of the individuals in society, even the disenfranchised, downtrodden, and the very least of us. How in a town like Osawatomie, and with such a heritage, do we find ourselves with a government that has lost sight of the individuals and their rights? How do we find ourselves in a town where a recreational walking trail that is wider than my driveway is being built right through the middle of suburban neighborhoods, encroaching on the yards of local citizens and the space that they use for their own family's purposes? When a group of concerned and affected citizens brought that up in City Council, it was simply glossed over as being too late to change, with the excuse that a survey had been sent out previously asking if people wanted trails. Public consensus without divulging full impact is not gaining the public's informed consent, especially when the protest of residents directly affected by it specifically cited how it was infringing upon their rights. With such a heritage, how do we have a city council that listened to multiple Osawatomie citizens complain about the burden against their property rights of an increase in property taxes, and then simply pass the budget that required such higher taxes without even a single word of discussion seeking to find areas to cut in the budget to alleviate the financial burden placed upon the individual people of Osawatomie? Sadly, the answer is clear. Because your current city government isn't serving you as an individual or protecting your rights at all, because they're too focused on serving the aims of their own conceptualized collective. Thank you for watching, and please write in Oliver Tanner for Mayor of Osawatomie.